Chopping the chicken, chopping the chicken. Hi and welcome back to the farm. Today I thought I'd bring you along as I butcher 12 chickens. We called all the last 12 of our meat birds Sunday, and since then I have had them outside on ice in a cooler, well, in an ice bath. So today what I'm going to do is bring them in and bring you along as I section them and freezer, suck them up, bag them, vacuum seal them, and as I vacuum seal them. What I do is I bleach all the counters. I get my workstations all set up. So I use the sink here, bring the bird in, and we finish cleaning it, give it a good rinse, and then we set it up on the glass to start drying. I have a food scale here because after they dry, I then weigh them. And then the two trays here, or as I cut them, I will portion them in sections on the tray so that I can vacuum seal them here, stack them on this tray, and they go out to the freezer. This is the butchering station. I have my cutting board, my very sharp fillet knife, a bowl. That's how I'm going to get the chickens out of the cooler. And best way to do it is just to get started. These will stay. These will stay. Good boys. Good boy. You want to make sure you're very careful not to touch or lose your chickens. But you want to be careful not to touch, any other surface than what the chicken is going to touch, because you don't want to spread salmonella germs everywhere. Bring them up here. Let me bring them in for a closer look. Wash my hands first. So what I'm doing here is I am just pulling off any of the skin that may be loose from where we dunked them to defeather them in the water. We don't eat a lot of our skin, so it's really not a big deal, but this makes for a cleaner end product. And I'm checking to make sure if we miss any feathers or hair or anything like that. And then they sell racks that you can use to dry your chicken, but a glass works. It just allows it to drain a little bit. Oh, sugar biscuits. Lucky birds. Again, I'm going to be butchering these and sectioning them, so I'm not really worried if I left anything in the cavity. I usually don't, but I'm just still giving it a good rinse just to kind of keep my butcher area cleaner. And I'm going to let them sit here and air dry for about 5 minutes. The house, the AC's on. House is a comfortable 70 degrees, and these are really cold from being on ice. So I'm not too worried about the internal temperature heating up to make it dangerous to leave them sit for a few. Wash my hands. Every time. Anytime you're going to touch anything else, wash your hands. After about 5 5 minutes, what I like to do is I'll have a few tea towels or flour sack towels that I use for things just like this. They'll have stains on them, so I don't mind using them, and they're white and they can be bleached. So that way, contamination from the chicken, you don't mix in with your other towels or clothes that can't be bleached. So I'm going to take a towel and I just give them a little pat down. That way, when I weigh them, I'm not getting a bunch of water weight that may still be on the bird. It didn't drain off. And I weigh them to see meat conversion, how much feed we purchased and fed them to how much, weight we get, so that we know, because we're still learning the breeds that we like to raise. And so far we've been really pleased with this one. This is a Cornish Rock Cross from Mount Healthy Hatcheries here in Hamilton, Cincinnati, Fairfield area. I want one hand for the chicken, one hand for my pin and the scale buttons. Again, cross-contamination. And right-handed, so my right hand is going to be for writing and scale buttons. Left hand will be for chicken. Hopefully they come off the glass as easy that I can do it with one hand. Normally my mom helps me with this part. I'm going to turn on and get my scale ready. Put my chicken in. 1 pounds. Woo! 7.9. I have my little book here, sugar biscuit, that I keep track of all that on. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Got it. 6.32 pounds. Oh, heavy buggers. Oh, that kind of strain. And this one is 6.81 pounds. Not bad so far. We raised these birds for 13 weeks. It was a 13-week butcher date. So that's pretty good weight. That's pretty good meat. Let me get set up and I'll bring you over to the butcher station and we'll start breaking down this bird for packaging. Okay, let's get started butchering. So, cutting board. I call these bone scissors. I don't know why I call them bone scissors because they'll cut through bone. They're multi-purpose scissors, but they're sharp. My knives, sharpener. Sharpener is important. You want a sharp knife. Bring the first bird. Big old breasts. So what I do, take my knife, cut down each side of the skin on the legs, like that. And then I just pull them open and go ahead and keep following that down and cut that skin back. Now, these are for the thigh and leg. Then I position it and give it a good push, and then I grab right here on each side of his little booty of his thighs with my thumbs, and then just pop those joints. And you can hear them pop, right? And then that will allow you to take your knife and come right in and follow that backbone and go right through where that joint popped. And follow that right on around with the backbone as your guide. And then you have your thigh and leg. Of course, we all have our dominant hand, so I always go one side one way, and then this side I do the opposite way. Both time though, watch your fingers. I'm following that backbone and just going right in between where that joint popped out. You can see the joint pops right out. So there's no really, other than meat, if you hit anything that's not meat, you're not on the right track. Right? Then I come right in here and I grab him like I'm gonna dance with him by the wing. Take my knife and I come up under the wing this way, right? And then I'll come back around the wing this way. So I hold him by the wing up off the board so that the weight of the chicken helps me get up under there. And then I just follow that armpit. Well, I'm trying to show you and do it at the same time. All the way around. Then I come back around the other way, right back in that armpit, and follow it around. Grab it, pop the joint, come right in, and then take out your drum. Again, up under the armpit, back the other way, pop it up, like that. And then you have your other drum. Now, basically you're left with your breast meat. There's several ways of doing this. I like to dislocate the backbone. Let me move these out of my way. So, handy dandy scissors. I come in and you can kind of see there's a line that follows that breast right out. So there's a little bit of meat here that you are more than welcome to save and keep. I use it in stock and stews. If I do a bone broth, I'll throw it in with the backbone for the bone broth. Follow that fat line and snip, and it really, there's nothing there. A couple rib bones, but they're so delicate that they cut real easy. And then I pop that back and flip it inside out like that, so that the back's up there out of my way. My breasts are now stationary and not wobbly on my cutting board. Go back in with my knife. You can see right here there's a line in the breast. If you just follow that and go gently down, right? And you'll see there's that piece of gristle and bone right there. You're gonna follow that on down, just cutting away and pulling with your fingers. And then you'll feel it hits and goes this way. So then you're gonna take that knife and go this way with it. Let me turn it around so you can see where I'm at. So that's the bone, and it jetted out. So I just followed that out. And this is your tenderloin piece of meat down in here. So you want to try to get as close to that bone as possible so you don't lose any of that juicy tenderloin from your chicken. I have found that our fresh chicken that we raise, a lot of times I can just take my finger and push and it separates right off of there and leaves all your beautiful tenderloin meat in on the breast. So there is a bone, I call it a collarbone, that runs this way at the top of your breasts. So you're going to hit that when you come up here at the top, right there. You just want to take, I use the point of my knife and I just follow that bone right down until I don't feel it anymore. And then glide that knife right in there, right down the ribs. See how that tenderloin just pulls away? And now I'm going to follow the rib down. Get the rest of the breast. Now at this point I've got the rib cage free right there, and it's still attached here. And what I like to do is then grab the whole breast and lift it and just come up along that collarbone. It's a wishbone is what it is, so that I can take the breast off. So that's one whole breast, skin on. Now we don't eat the skin, so at this point you can remove it. I left it on just for those that like skin on their breast, but we like our skinless. Flip it over and you can see that tenderloin right there lying in that breast. You can take your finger a lot of times and just pull that sinuate, I call it tissue, but I'll just use my knife. And it'll separate. And there's a beautiful tenderloin and a beautiful breast. I'm gonna do the other side now. Again, right hand, I have to come at it the opposite way so that I can follow that down and not lose any of that tenderloin meat. So right there, I can cut that off. You can see I'm following that. I can feel right on up, and I put my fingers in and pull it. There's the bottom of this part here. So I'm just gonna go in and gently use my fingers and start pulling away at that. Come up here to the wishbone, collarbone. Follow that down with the tip of my knife, hence very sharp knives. You need very sharp knives. Pull that tenderloin away. Now at this point I can flip it and come down the rib cage. Once I get down the rib cage, bring it up, come back this way with it, and there. Take the skin off this one. Got a little piece of gristly there that I don't really care for, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Don't want the skin. That tenderloin out of the middle there. Cut that free. Here's another tenderloin and another breast. Now, for the leg, if you look at your leg, you can see there's fat line that's right there. That's pretty much where that joint connects. So if you look, you can also see that fat line, if you were to remove the skin, runs right down in through here. So that's where we want to put our knife. Let's see if I can hit it the first time. I have my cheat line facing you, so we'll try. But usually, I missed it. Usually if you follow that line, I didn't miss it by much, you can cut right through one swoop. So I'll do it towards me this time. And there's the joint. Pop that joint loose. You can get your knife right in between there, like that. And there's your thigh. Now your wings, obviously you can do them this way, where you take the tip and fold it behind the drumlet part and lock it in, and then you have wings like get in your grocery cellophane wrapper. Or you can cut the tip off. Again, that's where these scissors come in very nice. That in our scrap. And then come in and very similar to the thigh area, you just break that little joint and come in. And if you get it right, which I was a little off, not bad, you got your winglets for buffalo wings, or whatever kind of wings, barbecue wings, Asian wings. This is cool. Little chicken humor. Cut the tips off. Come down in. Nope. Break it. Find that ball there. And you have your drum and your winglet. And that's a chicken broke down. We'll go ahead and move these over here so that I have the start of my packing of how I want to vacuum seal them up. I leave the skin on the legs and the thighs and the wings. Get started on the next one. Now I use this knife, so it's all gonna switch knife to my sharpened one. This one I'm going to remove it like I normally do, which is I just remove the skin and I flip it over and do the breast. That way all my extras are together. You can really see that gristly bone down the back there this way. Chicken from the grocery store and butchered like this, you know, where you break it down, but it's kind of got a smell to it, at least all the ones I've ever done. They're kind of slimy. Fresh chicken's not like that. Doesn't have any smell. Definitely not slimy. That, I nicked that bone, so it left a little flap. You definitely don't want to leave that on your chicken. So if you cook it, it comes off. Someone choke on that. I will go ahead and take that off. It's just one of the little things you should just keep an eye on as you're butchering. Scissors work nice. Okay, so let me wash up and get some bags ready. And then we'll vacuum seal some chicken. Clean my area. Just try to keep it wiped down in between each round. 12 birds, so we'll do this 4 times. Trash barrel over here. That way I don't have to carry it across my kitchen floor. Doing that enough already. So what I'm doing now is I've cut all my vacuum seal bags to the right size, and now I am just sealing the one end and setting them over here. Then going to write the date and what is going to be in each bag. So now that I have my bags all marked with the date and what is inside, I have used one of the tea towels, flour sack towels, to dry off the butchered meat even further, and then that way it really gets a good seal in the vacuum sealer. So we're just going to seal these bad boys up. These are huge breasts, so we're only going to do 2 at a time. I mean, look at that. It's huge. And it's folded. It's huge. So now we're gonna take our tray of chicken out to the garage. So it takes 2 hands because it's heavy. Ooh. So bear with the weird shooting angle at the moment. So we got our chicken. Raining. Fill that burger up. So I'm also at this time going to go ahead and vacuum seal up the gizzards and hearts, livers, and the necks from the 12 birds that we slaughtered, and package them up with this batch that I just got done. And in this batch, I have our Jersey Giant rooster that we butchered. So I'm going to leave him whole and actually use him for, I don't know, chicken and noodles or something like that. Chicken and dumplings maybe. Roast it down, make chicken enchiladas. So we're going to go ahead and vacuum seal up this. The necks I save because I use them when I make my bone broth. They make a really good bone broth. There's quite a lot of meat on there. The livers I also laid out on towel, and it just lets them dry off so that when you vacuum seal them up, a lot of moisture doesn't come out. Just like with the other parts of chicken. Now with the livers, I like to try to get it to lie a little bit flat. Next, run out of room. And the gizzard, which is actually the stomach of the chicken. So this is the outside and then the inside. And we actually remove the lining of the stomach of the gizzard when we do the culling and slaughtering out in the yard. And that way I can just wash them, dry them, and put them in. And then when I cook them along with the hearts, I'll trim them even further and get some of this gristle off of them so they're not as chewy. And I just soak them in some buttermilk or milk and a tablespoon of white vinegar, a little paprika. Spanish paprika is the best. Garlic, onion. Soak them for a few hours or all day, and then dredge them and fry them. Egg wash, they're delicious. So there's the livers. Get the gizzards and hearts done. And now that we got that all done, this was actually batch number 3 of 3 birds. I'll take this to the freezer and get our last batch done. And then sanitize, clean, and sanitize. So we got all of our chickens butchered and sectioned and vacuum sealed up. Now it's time to clean up the kitchen, bleach everything down, make sure it's nice and clean. Run some bleach water for the rags that we used so that they can be sanitized. Everything else I spray down with bleach spray. And then I had some leftover liquid from the bleach wipes, and I put some paper towels in with the bleach. Just about 1/8 of the cup. Anyway, so I'll have that going, and then now these. Yeah, they're starting to get wet. I put a lot in there. bad things about small kitchens. They're kind of crowded, but they're easy to clean up. And that's it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like, and share. Don't forget to ring the bell to be notified of upcoming videos. And until next time,